That's amazing. So kakati wano tugenda wakambwemu aina esimu njagala ovunuliremu n'abooluganda kuba waliwo abaguzi bali bubi wano mu comment section bayomba NAVIO oyogera oluzungu lungi NAVIO oluzungu lungi kakati NAVIO kino ngenda mu Luganda. What happened between you and GNL? In the early days I heard there was a rift between you and GNL. Then along the way there was something about you and Atlas. Atlas. So what really happened?
Okay, those are the GNL. I can't really say one way or another. I think he was the first one to get on TV. Every time he'd get on TV, they would be like, "Oh yeah, so so is it? How do you feel about NAVIO putting you on? How do you feel about NAVIO helping you with this? How do you feel about rolling with the NAVIOs? NAVIO. So I kind of understand. He flipped out one day on the interview, and he was like, he totally pushed me and everything I'd done to the side, and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna stand here as my own artist." No one's ever done anything for me type of attitude. So I couldn't really call it beef at the time. Also, I'd just been in South Africa, so my idea of beef is different. But he was just a guy who was pissed off of living in whatever shadow, the NAVIO brand had casted. So I don't think for me it was a real problem, but I think for him, he's always had that feeling, But I gotta say, from the beginning, everything that I did for him, it was really just to show love. I thought he was an amazing act. I thought that he got even better when he was hanging out with the Myth, and Papito, because those were the first guys in the group he'd hang out with. He wasn't, I wasn't in the country. I was in South Africa playing basketball on scholarship. So he would hang with the Myth. He was on Papito's album early on when his flow was totally different. And then him and the Myth, they both worked, off of each other really well. So by the time I came back, they were doing shows in clubs like Stakeout and QT. And yeah, it was dope, man. So we wanted to help him out any way that we could, whether it was putting him on songs, anything.
Let me ask you, because you're saying help. What kind of help did you give him? Because tomorrow bloggers are gonna cut this out, and you'll read GNL, and you'll be like, I'm thinking you may be like, kind of help. Like, what kind of help did you give him?
I don't think so. The Myth, the very first song we worked on, the Myth called me up and he's like, "Yo, I've got my guy, GNL, who I told you about. You're in studio right now with Washington at Kalenda. We're at a Messat studio in Kalenda Hotel. So he's like, yo, can you put him on a song? Just like, let's push him out. I know you've got some heat over there, some good songs." So when he came through, I put him on Saluni and Bogumu, both of which were already finished songs. But I put him on those because for me, already we had been performing for a month together, a month or two actually, after I'd come back from graduation.